It's a good thing.
Hello, friends.
Oh, hey.
We're back.
Hi, everyone.
What's up?
We have a special guest today. We're just going to come out and introduce Zach Pedley from the North Brewery.
Thank you all.
Insert applause track here. Well, we don't usually talk about movies, so this should be interesting. But movies are technically an art form, so we should definitely talk about... I know he's my favorite director and also yours.
He definitely is. He's done some great work. And today we're going to examine our opinions on why John Carpenter has failed Hollywood. And we say this with the most respect possible because, I can speak for both of us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but he is one of the best directors of all time. Probably one of the godfathers of horror.
For sure.
Sci-fi horror. And maybe even you could probably give him some credit to campy action buddy guy movies.
Yeah, he's got a handful of action stuff under his belt. Yeah.
And we're just going to examine why maybe it was Hollywood just picked the wrong audience for him. They just saw dollar signs with some of his first 4 films and were like, damn.
Well, before we get too far into
Yes.
that, let's go around and plug our social media and all that stuff. I'm Josh Ruff at joshruff.com and all the things. www.joshruff.com, and we're here at Renaissance Studios at RS Tattoo NY on Instagram.
Reggie Cuvelier here. You can find me at Reggie Inks, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you have any questions or commission and ideas, feel free to email me, ReggieInks@gmail.com.
I'm Christina Maslar. You can find me Christina_Maslar on Instagram, Christina Maslar on Facebook, here in this back room, sometimes at home taking naps. Just really chilling.
I'm Bam Maslar, painter, co-owner of Crucible Gallery, www.crucibleartgallery.com. You can find me on the internet at bamburnsthings.com.
Fucking sweet, guys. And Zach, why don't you tell us what's going on with the North since you're our sponsor?
We're doing good things over there.
Safe and consensual sex.
Well,
Yeah,
you're open now. How's that going?
It's going well. September was slow for us, due to COVID, and it's a slow month as it is anyways. Usually we have our event, Revenge of the Stouts, that go on during September, but we couldn't have it this year, the age of COVID. But we're doing well.
No one has it. So.
No one has it, which is for us, which is great. No one here has it. Hopefully, right?
What's the opposit of revenge? You should do that of the stouts.
We
avenge
Like,
the stouts.
I've had it like
amicable
6 times.
separation
and I
of
just
the
have
stouts.
Amicable
But
separation.
like always, we are always promoting safe sex at the brewery. We've been trying to promote that the last 6 months. So just
At the brewery, or
No.
you might
no.
want to reword.
Well, yeah, just safe sex.
You don't want to give Frank any ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Very true. So, just doing great things at the brewery. We have a couple of good stouts coming out, good IPAs, good seasonal beers. Stop down, check us out. Or if you're listening to us on California, hit up somebody out here to trade you. I hear Matt Bergman's free.
Tight. Cool.
Tight.
Tight.
Okay, so John Carpenter. Definitely my favorite fucking director of all time.
Good old JC.
It's got some good ones.
JC. He's got some great films. He also has some great films that have flopped and done miserably in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing we should do is just go through let's just go through what he has done, and we can pick apart stuff we want to talk about from there, and we'll go forward from that.
Cool.
We can talk about his first film, which is Dark Star, and it was a college film. I think he did right out of college, or it was his final project. It did. I don't know how it did. I can't answer that, but his budget was $60,000.
Well, a cool thing about this is Dan O'Bannon was on with this too.
Cool.
Guy who helped write Alien. Was he a co-writer of Alien or something like that? Or
I thought he
some
was.
kind of work.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it in the first episode of this
The
podcast.
Mobius
when we talked
episode,
about
yeah.
Mobius.
And then we drank a lot, and then
we forgot all the things.
Well,
You know,
I'm surprised you remember that far back. Just being like, we talked about that in the first episode. Not
it's
like
all
it was
just a
mentioned
haze
at some
of
point.
art and names.
And booze.
and hangovers.
Yeah, yeah. So we even have to go back and rewatch some of our stuff to autocorrect.
Yeah, but apparently, like, this movie was a huge inspiration for Dan O'Bannon when he went on to do Alien, because they actually took a lot of stuff from this movie, or so I've heard. I haven't actually seen this one, so I'm gonna have to try and find this, and
I'm
just
pretty
give it
sure
a
you
good
could
watch.
find it randomly in like dollar store bins.
Jeez,
I'm
that'd be
not
a
even
sweet
kidding.
find.
I've
Yeah.
seen that come up.
How
it might
dep-
be on YouTube.
How
right?
depressing,
Yeah,
but
it might be
also
on
awesome.
YouTube.
Not
Yeah.
copywritten.
Yeah.
That's so depressing, but also awesome for us.
I'm sure Coconuts had it back in the day when they had their buy one movie get 20 for free deals, but clearly that business model failed. So
Rest in peace, Coconuts.
is gone.
Rip in peace.
Right.
They died.
So he does this film. He gets some feedback. Hollywood starts to notice. So he then does another film called Assault on Precinct 13, which is huge, right? He does that, and it actually sparks a lot. Like, a lot of people in Hollywood are starting to watch this type of movie, which is like you could probably make a case. It's reminiscent of Romero's Zombies films a little bit, where you have people locked up in a building,
Barricaded inside.
barricaded in the
police station,
building.
right? I haven't. I don't think I've seen the original of this either. Like, wasn't there a remake of this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
somewhat well, there was a Hollywood remake.
Yep.
And then there was the John Carpenter remake.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, a remake was released in 2005,
Yeah.
starring Ethan Hawke.
Oh, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Lawrence.
Do you think movies like this
Larry.
did well at the time because of things like Warriors and like Serpico and all those fucking police movies and gang movies that came out around that time?
Dirty Harrys.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can, like, what we're going through in the 80s at this point, 70s, 80s, Japan was also going through in the 60s and 70s, where they were only making films specifically for men or boys age 15 to age like 40, where they just wanted to get men in the theater to watch these types of films, because that was the majority of people watching the films. Not that women didn't go to the theater or anything, but it was like their demographic. This is what we need to bring to the theater.
Men
Right.
didn't want the rom-coms.
Well,
No, they
but
wanted more
Unless there was
Charles
murder in
Bronson.
Well, I mean, the more
fucking.
murder or fucking that you put in a movie, the more men you're going to get in
Boobies.
the theater. So he does this film, and this is $100,000 budget for him. And John Carpenter, it looks like through most of his films, and you're going to see later on, that he does substantially well when he has a budget that is really, really fucking low. Really low. So after he does Assault on Precinct 13, I mean, we're going to talk about other his films in depth. He does Halloween, which goes on to be one of the biggest franchises in horror of all time.
Yeah.
That was only his
Yeah.
third movie?
His third movie budget was like $300,000, and it grossed like 60
60 to 70 million.
Wow.
So that was a huge moneymaker for Hollywood.
Now, Josh and I, before everyone got in here, Reggie was here too. We looked at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the budget for that was 30 or 40,000, and it grossed 30 million. So still really fucking good for these two slasher films, and you can't forget Black Christmas. But so this is the third one, right? So this
Yeah.
movie comes out, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" And this is not like a grindhouse film like Black Christmas or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, this is something you would think, like, you could probably take your date there. I mean, and it's a full feature film. I mean, it's not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre where it's 15 minutes at the end of just screaming. Even though I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a lot of people love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's great.
Yeah.
It's an
But it-
hour and
but it
like
is
10
what it
minutes
is.
of what it is. This is there's a decent plot. Not that Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't have it. This
Texas
is a
Chainsaw Massacre is a bit Showtime Skinamax porn
Yeah,
level of
exactly.
slasher.
Yeah.
This is more story based.
you got booty in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Right, and this
Dudes in
Nice.
wheelchairs.
Well, there's boobs.
no, there is
Yeah.
there is Jamie Lee Curtis, one of her first films,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Sorry, but it's fucking smoke.
Are we cheersing the boobs?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Damn.
Jamie Lee. All right.
I mean, you don't see Jamie Lee's boobs in that one, but she's in what was the Eddie Murphy movie,
Yeah,
Trading
Trading
Places.
Places.
There
Trading
you go.
Places.
The two Reggies.
And I want to also preface this as we're going through this. I 100% mean no disrespect to John Carpenter whatsoever. If he watches this and would love to do,
If he watches this,
Well, he's
I
our
will
favorite director,
shit my
so
pants.
clearly, I mean,
if he would just like to comment on any of this, we
give
would love
us
to have you down
nice
here.
little social media bump.
Yeah,
Get
John
it out there.
Carpenter, help us out. We would love to have you down at the brewery. I reached out to you on Instagram several times. I would love to do a beer with you, and you can come down to the tattoo
Let's
place.
do some beer.
Let's do something, and they would do tattoos of you on people's bodies.
Did John Carpenter do the movie Cursed?
I don't.
Is that
think,
one fit?
No, I don't think
that
so.
was-
No.
So
Okay.
are you saying right now on recording?
No, I'm not.
You would
I'm
get
not.
a tattoo, a portrait of John Carpenter.
No, he'd get
I
a
think
They
you
Live
should.
face.
That'd be really
I would
awesome.
not get a They Live. I would get a
What?
Thing tattoo. I would definitely get a Thing tattoo. If he came down, I
Spider
would get-
eyeballs.
but
Yeah, spider eyeballs.
but only if he was here.
I would want him to not here. He can be at the brewery too.
Well, right, but if he was in person, so you wouldn't
In
just
fact,
do it
yeah,
like next
Cursed is
Tuesday.
Wes Craven. I get my.
No,
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
not
Wes
do it
Craven.
next Tuesday, man.
Oh, okay.
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 So
You mean
he
we
does
can't
Halloween.
see you next Tuesday?
You can
Nice.
no.
Oh.
So,
Do you think that this movie helped pave the way for other things like other franchises that came after it because of its commercial success?
I would make
Absolutely.
that argument. Everybody, like we were discussing a little bit before, everybody, like, Black Christmas is technically the first one to set up these tropes, but this is the one that just sort of hits it out of the park.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
it was supposed to be an anthology, so it was so successful that they just changed it to being Michael Myers every time because Halloween was just supposed to be like Halloween 3, The Curse of the Witch.
Yeah.
It was just supposed to be a different thing every
Yeah.
fucking movie, and they
Right.
didn't.
So I'm
do
curious with
that.
this one. So he was the directed by, did the music, and then co-wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
Were the other ones he did also the same, or was
He-
he just directing those?
He's got a
Or
huge hand in a lot of it.
he does. He
Okay.
does. Even to this day, the recent Halloween, he did the sound.
I knew that,
So-
but I was just curious how much he did in the earlier films versus the third one.
We're gonna go through it, but I believe Hollywood pulled him out. They were like,
started throwing scripts at him,
They're
basically.
like,
Well, probably
You're not.
when it started to decline, which we're going to get into
Pretty quickly,
They probably
actually.
pulled them out of that.
But with this film too, which I feel like is different from the other two previous slasher films we talked about, the sound is so important. It's
Yeah.
so fucking important to have that.
that one piano note, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
On
dun.
why it invokes
Dun, dun.
so much emotion as
Dun.
watching it in you. Like you're like that comes on, and you're like, holy shit, Michael Myers is there. Like it's fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when, like, you just hear him breathing through the mask as
Oh,
he's, like,
so good.
sneaking up on the guy and just stabs all the way through him to hang him
I'm
up.
not I'm not a slasher film guy. I don't like. I don't.
It's not my preferred genre of horror.
It's
but
not my preferred
it's-
genre
it's,
either.
You know,
But it's
Classic.
This movie is fucking amazing.
yeah.
It's not Freddy Krueger. It's not Jason. It's not those two. It's
He's truly the
he's an
boogeyman.
entity.
Yeah.
He's an entity.
Yeah.
So he does Halloween, right? After he does Halloween, he does a movie called The Fog and Escape from New York, basically within 6 months of each other. Both of these films also do fucking unbelievable in the theaters.
Also, Jamie Lee Curtis is in this one.
Yes,
too.
yes, she is.
Yes.
Was she?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
her.
that's
Is
her.
that her?
Yeah,
that's
making
her.
over $21 million domestically on a $1.1 million budget.
So here we are, okay.
okay.
As we're looking at this, between Halloween, right? He has made Hollywood, let's say on a 65 million for Halloween. He does this movie. Now we're up to basically $84 million. Okay, for Hollywood back in the 80s, the early 80s. He's basically Hollywood's like baby right now. They're like, holy shit, give this guy anything, he's gonna turn it in. He's like a young Quentin Tarantino. And The Fog, it's decent. It's a good movie.
Honestly, I fucking love that movie. I think it's so fucking cool. And, like,
It is.
but keep going.
So he does then Escape from New York. And this creates an action genre, a post-apocalyptic action genre that kind of rivals Mad Max. Not let's not say Mad Max, The Road Warrior. Let's just say maybe Thunderdome, which sucked. But I'm not saying that this movie sucked. I'm just saying it kind of rivals this whole post-apocalyptic.
Thunderdome sucked.
It sucked. It was like a weird Peter Pan shit that we had going on that no one really understood with Tina Turner, and it just didn't make any sense.
Tina Turner.
That's the problem with Hollywood. Hollywood gets involved with shit. And they're like, holy crap, Road Warrior, it was unbelievable. Let's give that guy all this money, and but we're gonna have our hands in what happens, and it turns out like garbage. And then he redeems himself. George Miller.
Yeah, I think that was the dude.
Yeah, I don't want to get that wrong, but
we get things wrong all the time.
I know.
We get fucking hammered and discuss things.
He basically redeems himself with a movie that happens in 2016 or 2017.
Oh yeah, Fury Road.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But he didn't have Hollywood have his hand in it. He won every single Oscar that didn't matter, and the one that he should have won didn't win because of Hollywood.
I do have to say I love the fact that the sentence here, Carpenter wrote the film in the mid-1970s in reaction to the Watergate scandal.
I just love that it was filmed mainly in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's Escape from New York. But it makes sense because St. Louis, Missouri is kind of a shithole. So.
Shout out to St. Louis, the coolest city.
If we scroll down on Escape from New York here, we can see the cost of the movie, actually, I believe, was pretty high.
I think it said $6 million.
$6 million.
$25 million.
So he still made a good $19 million off that.
Damn.
As of right now, he has made Hollywood $100 million in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Within like a 4-year time span.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of loot.
That's a lot of money. Like, this guy cannot do anything wrong at this point. But again, look at his ratios. He's getting low money to make these films, and he's doing it. Then comes one of probably my favorite sci-fi horror. It's my favorite sci-fi horror film of all time. The Thing.
The Thing.
Now we're gonna spend some time on this movie.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this on
movie
the movie posters episode in depth. This is also my favorite horror movie period of all time.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm getting excited. So John Carpenter.
So you can come inside.
Come inside.
So you're okay to come inside?
So John Carpenter does this film.
I forgot the Dinty Moore. I'm sorry. We were gonna eat Dinty Moore.
Dinty Moore.
Diabetes.
In honor of
Wilford Brimley's in that movie. That's where all these inside jokes are coming from.
Rest in peace, Wilford Brimley.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Clank, clank, clank. Yeah. So he does this movie, and it's a remake of a 50s movie, right? 50s.
Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
So there's this movie, and it's by far better. To this day, it's talked about as probably the top, if not the top two. It's definitely talked about as the top two sci-fi horror of all time. It's this and Alien.
Yeah, for sure.
We can't disagree with that.
Okay. I think another thing that this movie did, though, correct me if I'm wrong,
right?
But body horror, right?
Fuck.
Oh yeah,
really analyzed like a lot, but pre-Cronenberg,
yeah,
right? Because like Videodrome and all that shit was like toward the latter end of the '80s. But are we still in the '70s right now? No, we're in 82. Only in '82.
This came out the year I was born.
So when this movie came out, it cost John Carpenter $15 million of Hollywood's money to produce this film, and it only grossed $19 million.
So it made a few million.
It made a few million, but this is not what Hollywood wanted, obviously. Who would want that? Especially with the people, like, there's so much shit going on in this.
See, what I love here,
relate
it says on Wikipedia, the thing was released in 1982 to very negative reviews. It was described as instant junk, a wretched excess, and proposed the most hated film of all time by film magazine Cinefantastique.
Which is that still around even?
No, probably not. So fuck.
Because the thing is,
yes. But I relate this movie. I'm gonna throw another one of my personal things out there to the album Pinkerton by Weezer. When that album came out, it was panned and deemed as one of the worst rated albums of all time, and it turns out one of the best.
It was really? Yeah. It was rated the worst?
It was rated that year. It came out in 1997 or 6. One of the worst piece of crap ever to people to listen to.
But it became a cult classic, which Carpenter seems to be the king of cult classics. So
the thing has so many themes going on. I mean, the main theme everyone knows it's communism. It's an anti-communism film. You can't trust Marx. You can't trust who is in your group.
Oh yeah, because this was at like
The
a
peak.
very
Cold
tense
War.
time in the Cold War.
Right.
I
You
didn't-
can't trust
I didn't even think
anybody.
about that really. Like, but that is a
Yeah.
huge component to this movie, just the psychological horror part of it. Like, you don't know who is what, and
So
that's why when we were talking about the poster, why the poster is like the perfect poster for that movie, because
Yeah.
you can't tell who that is, and it could be anybody in that group there.
So what do you think? You think they got out alive? You think Kurt Russell and
I like to just leave the ending ambiguous, like that. Like, you don't really know what happened. Like,
Yeah.
Didn't you have a theory about it?
Well, the one guy went on to They Live, so he had to
Keith David,
survive.
yeah.
Keith
It
David.
was
Yeah.
also in
Yeah.
They
Kurt
Live.
Russell did do a lot after this.
He
so-
did, so they both survived.
there's this
Clearly.
there's this theory out there. Well, not theory. John Carpenter is open to making The Thing too. I mean, there was the pre-sequel that came out in 2011.
Which I liked. It was an alright movie, As a fan of this movie, like, I thought it was really good.
Right.
It was not as good as this one, but that's a high fucking bar to get
Yeah.
to, Like, they did a good job, like, lining up the prequel to, like, with the start of this movie,
Right.
And I love how Kurt Russell's the hero in this movie, and then you get to Big Trouble in Little China, and he can't fucking handle anything.
It's true. John Carpenter has a thing with Kurt Russell and the woman from the last movie.
The Afro girl, right?
No,
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, there was the Afro chick was also in The Fog, and
Oh, that's right.
isn't that his wife? Didn't he end up marrying her?
I can't answer that.
Big boobs, big Afro. Anybody?
That's PC.
That sounds like the 1970s.
So-
He married this woman from The Fog. Adrian Bardot.
Maybe. She's the
Burbo.
one that's also in.
She's in The Fog.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what else she's been in. I remember her from that, though.
She's
So-
in Creepshow, too. She's in a lot
Yep.
of old
Yeah,
80s
yeah.
horror movies.
So John Carpenter,
it.
he's been very vocal about directing The Thing too, and I think it'd be pretty cool. He even explained that he would have Kurt Russell and what's the other guy's name? Keith David. Kurt Russell and Keith David. He would explain that their age from frostbite, so he would have them picked up by a surviving team that would get them on a ship. And their age would be something to do with the frostbite, which I think would be really cool if John
I
Carpenter
think
directed it.
He could just get Wyatt Russell to be Kurt at this
Ooh.
point, because he looks so much
Good.
like his fucking dad.
That's true.
Kurt Russell doesn't even look like Kurt anymore.
He does. but
Bam.
Wyatt looks like
If you had to
him.
recreate this film, like let's say star-studded cast, who would you pick to play Kurt Russell's character, and why would it be Megan Thee Stallion?
Because that would just be epic.
Right.
Done. Yeah.
It would be done.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion as McReady, right?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, if we're gonna swap gender and race, Megan Thee Stallion, and then for Keith David, maybe, and we're gonna go all female cast. I'd probably pick
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. Kristen Wiig.
Kristen
Yeah.
Wiig. A little comedy,
Yeah. Little
a
comedy.
little spin. It would be a good spin.
Wilford Brimley's
She's got some dramatic roles under her belt.
Wilford Brimley's just replaced by a walrus. Like we just go like live
Yeah.
Was
action.
he in that movie?
Yes.
He's in
The
the
Thing?
whole
Holy
thing.
shit!
He's-
Wilford Brimley's the fucking.
Dude,
Not only-
Holy shit, that's right.
He
He's
builds
the
the
dude.
spaceship in the
He's
shed.
the dude sitting outside eating the Dentine Moore, trying
Yes.
to tell them, I'm okay.
So let's-
I can come back in.
Hey, let's
I'd
I'd like to
Also-
come back in now.
in
I'm
that
okay.
movie, the same age Paul Rudd is now.
fuck.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
So
that.
people in the 80s aged way quicker than they do now.
Holy
Well,
shit.
I mean, Paul Rudd doesn't also have diabetes, so I mean,
is So Wilford Brimley's building the spaceship
Yes.
yeah.
in that
Underneath
the
their
cabin.
little shed.
Yeah.
Right. So Wilford Brimley at this point,
Spare parts.
we still don't know at this point if Wilford Brimley is in fact the Thing. We don't know.
Right.
Just
Because he
assume
goes-
because he's in the shed.
He's
He
in the
must
shed.
be.
You assume.
But he keeps saying he's
Yeah.
okay.
He's
He's
doing
okay.
something weird out there, though.
Well, I mean, obviously he would have to be, like, for this.
How would you build that spaceship?
What?
How would you build that spaceship if you were not the Thing?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Legos.
I'm saying, like, I figured that out earlier in the movie, like, when they put him out there, because the way the thing works,
Right.
It's like he was the dude fucking with all the dead things, like, getting
Yes.
all the cells all over him and shit. So
True.
clearly,
What is the
he's
Thing?
a thing. It's, like, a cellular organism that just
Well, that
takes over your
multiplies.
body.
Yeah.
Let's-
Just
and
grows.
Jesus Christ.
See,
And
like,
mimics.
And mimics, yeah.
See, if we ever encountered aliens, that's what I feel like it would be like.
It would be on a
something like
cellular
that.
level.
And that would be fucking crazy.
It would be horrible.
Yeah, that's why this movie's so horrifying. Because,
Yeah.
like, it's totally plausible,
Could you
I
imagine,
guess.
though, like, they get saved, right? Kurt Russell, Keith David, they get saved. They're on the boat. And it gets infected in the ocean, like we talked about earlier in the week.
Right.
It would be, like, how crazy would that be? They get back to California, and everything has been decimated by this thing.
Yeah. It's just Cronenberg everywhere.
Wait, so they're like the last ones to have gotten it in Antarctica?
So,
No, I'm saying...
No, like in the
started-
time that they're
Can you
traveling from
say
Antarctica
then-
to...
like
Okay.
Cloverfield, the last one that came out, is like a good sequel to that. Like they would pair nicely.
I
Just
love
as,
John Goodman.
no, not that one. Did you see the last one?
The
last one
Netflix
was on
one? Is that what you're
Netflix.
talking about?
Yeah,
it's another one.
Space.
Yeah, that one's
Oh,
cool.
there's yet
I
another
absolutely hated
Clover?
Cloverfield.
I actually didn't like
The
Space one.
Cloverfield Paradox,
Hated
I think
it.
it's called.
I didn't mind it, but
Okay.
I love Chris O'Dowd, so I think that's why.
So,
I hated Cloverfield.
I actually
All
like
of
the
them?
one with them in the base.
The first one.
The one where they're
Cloverfield
like...
The
Lane.
giant monster
Cloverfield
wheel
Lane, I really
That
liked.
one's
That one was
great.
I
good.
love. Why do you hate that one?
I felt like there was build up to nothing.
It was
It just kind of...
Sometimes those handicap movies kind of do that.
Yeah, and it was just a lot of panic to then at
I
the
like
very...
the creature design in those movies.
Yeah, those-
There's a
Right.
sweet head pop scene.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
like, "Oh, go,
And
go,
then
go,
the-
go to another one."
But you also didn't see the major monster until the last 10 seconds of the film, and then all of a sudden it was just over. It was just like there was no...
I mean, some movies are good about that though. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I
Ritual.
just- I don't-
The Ritual.
Yeah,
We didn't see
I
the
like The
monsters
Ritual.
in the end.
That one just didn't
do
do
you-
it for me.
What do you think? Do you think Kurt Russell or Keith David had it at the end? Because there's...
I'd
that
put my
period-
money on
Friend.
Keith David.
Yeah, he
Just
had it.
because, you know, he disappeared. Like,
And he didn't breathe when they breathed. At the end, Kurt Russell, the fog came out in
Uh-huh.
the cold, and when Keith David did, nothing came out.
Oh, it didn't show like his.
Oh, I never- I
conversation.
didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
watch that again. It's a good scene
Cool.
at the end when he's like, it's a good
see,
scene to
I
splice.
suppose you could, like, make any assumption based on the ending of that movie,
When
though. Like,
they were doing the blood test, did Kurt Russell ever do his?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
He was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he was? I
Yeah.
I
That's
thought...
why he got.
Like-
I honestly didn't think that he had.
And how scary was that fucking
Would you
scene,
fucking
dude?
untie me now?
Yeah.
And then all the rest
Oh,
of them.
God.
Yeah.
And the guy next to him is like,
Yeah. The flamethrower just doesn't work at that point in time.
oh, God.
Of course.
Everything goes wrong all at
Dude,
once.
my dad showed me this film when I was probably 5 years old. With,
Really?
Like with the Blob. My mom was so pissed off. She was like, I slept in the bedroom for like a week straight. It was horrifying.
Well, this is a fucking terrifying movie. Did you ever play the video game? It was kind of like a sequel to this. Came out in like the early 2000s.
No,
maybe.
I never did.
Yeah, I feel like it came out in 2000 of the money because I had buddies that were working at GameStop at
Yeah.
the time, and we're like, "Hey, I got a free copy
Dude,
of this. You want it?" I'm like,
that game was a direct
"Absolutely."
sequel to this movie, and basically you show up in the rescue team, and at the end, R.J. McCready shows up. So
Oh, shit.
So
Yeah.
he's the one that survived.
yeah, well, I don't think they even let you know because you basically a dude in a chopper shows up, and it clearly looks like McCready. But you're gonna have to check that out.
I'll have
It's
to
pretty
check
good.
that out. I didn't even know. I thought
It was
the
a
game
good
never
game.
was made.
No, it was a good game.
Okay. So,
Oh, we
moving
gotta
on.
Well,
Cheers to the thing.
Cheers to the
Cheers.
thing.
Move on.
And
Fucking great.
wait, quick side note. Shout out to Drew Struzan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Call
Check
back.
out our movie posters episode. We talk about this piece in
Yeah.
detail.
Okay, so he does the thing, which doesn't make Hollywood that good money that Hollywood wants. So, like, it's okay. I mean, now he's basically at like 95 million, right? We deduct the 5 million that, you know, it's a loss or whatever.
Well, he still made money on it. Just
He
not
did.
a lot.
Yeah.
So Hollywood then trusts him with 2 movies, 83, 84, that I don't really want to talk a lot on because I don't really like either one.
Christine,
Christine, the
Is-
fucking car.
because everybody had
What
to
was
do
the
a-
other one?
A Stephen King movie in the 80s.
He does a thing. Keep in mind,
But
he
I-
makes 11 million off of the thing. 10 million to make, 21 million gross. So
Now, I just also have to shout out that at this point in time, in 1980, when he's making all this money, he is 32 years old.
yeah, he's fucking killing it. He's a Quentin Tarantino of our
Yeah.
generation. He's doing unbelievable shit.
Like, that just makes me feel useless about myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, jeez, all of us. Fuck. Holy shit. So he does Starman. Not really my cup
Oh,
of tea.
yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
He makes 4 million off of it. Not my thing. Then he makes my desert island film that I will watch
Another one of my favorite
Over
films that we
and
talk about.
over and
Another
over
cover from
and
Drew
over
Struzan,
again.
too.
I
Yes.
cannot wait until my son is fucking 10 years old so he understands what the hell is going on in this film. This is this film.
Yeah, I've already subjected
it'll
my,
take
my
10
kid
years
to
to
this
figure
film.
It's fucking
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
45 minutes of nonstop action from the minute that you start the movie.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. The opposite of They Live, and we'll talk about that and why I have beef with this film. But 45 minutes. It goes from him, and it makes everything makes sense. He goes from him driving the truck into Chinatown. He's doing some weird stuff, dropping off chickens or whatever.
Fucking ghosts show up and there's a goddamn
Well, before
fucking
that,
ninja battle in
He
the
goes
alley.
to the airport
No,
first.
before all of it, he's playing a betting game with his friend.
Yes.
Who
Okay.
ends up being a fucking kung fu master in
Kung
the
Fu
third
master.
act.
He's out there playing dice games.
They're playing,
CeeLo.
no, they're
some
doing
CeeLo.
it's a game where they have a bottle of beer, and his friend is somehow like shooting it at him or something.
It's all in the
He
reflexes.
shoots it and he catches it or whatever. It's all in the reflexes. So after that, his friend's like, hey, he's like, I can pay you the money or whatever, but I got to pick up this girl from the airport. It's a Chinese girl, but Chinese girls do not come in green eyes.
But it's his
Yeah.
Not
best
being
friend.
on
and he
PC
loves
here,
her,
that's
but
a-
she has
That's
one
a theme in the
There's
movie.
a theme in the movie.
Yeah.
Chinese girl do not come with green eye.
And
That's like
Kim
the thing.
Cattrall girls do not come with green eyes.
I love
not
that
even-
they
So
said it that way.
so they pick her up, shit goes haywire, right? All this shit starts to happen, battle, gang warfare, Lil Pan shows up, green eyes, whatever, he's like,
Yeah.
ghost.
Fucking
drives a
riding.
truck through
Fucking
them.
comes
Yeah,
down
yeah,
riding
yeah.
the lightning into the
Yeah.
whorehouse. to
I was
pick
making
her up.
last time I was watching that with these guys. I was making that joke a bunch that they
Yeah.
ripped off so much from Mortal Kombat for that
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
Oh my
more like
God,
Mortal
Rod,
Kombat
man.
ripped them
I know,
off.
I know, I don't think I
Yeah, it's like 10
At
year
this
difference,
point,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mortal Kombat was lifting a lot from those
just
guys.
unbelievable. Even the cast. Kim
I mean-
Cattrall.
This movie, I feel like, is a love story between a man and his truck. If we're really gonna get down to
Pork
it.
Chop
Yeah.
Express,
all
man.
the
Chop
shit he would
Express.
do for that truck.
My
Yeah.
favorite line is when he calls the insurance company up after his truck disappears,
Yeah.
and he says, I'm going to tell you a story, and I don't want to hear act of God.
You told me that before I saw the film, and
Best
I
line.
waited for it. I caught it, and I could not stop laughing.
So let's go down and see what the budget of this film was. Ooh.
Ooh, 19 to 25 million, and it only grossed 11.1 million at the box office.
Honestly-
I love when they say 19 to 25. Like, they're not even sure where about 6 million
Right, 'cause he
might
just
have gone
bled money.
to.
And John Carpenter,
It just
this
I
is
think
a
it's
question
hard for them
you.
to keep track of like international sales too. Like if they
no,
What's
but
the
the
budget to
budget,
make the
the
film?
budget to make the film.
I think that's
Oh,
like
I
six
thought you were
there's
talking
million
literally
about
like
gross.
6
went
million.
in
That's
neon. All that neon
just
at
oh
the
the
end.
neon.
yeah.
yeah.
He didn't want to be honest
All the-
about how many
all the
neon,
neon
lights he
lights.
wrapped in skulls in.
Right.
all the neon lights.
Castle-
Anywhere from
Castle
1 to
Gray
6
skull
million
turned into-
on neon lights.
Castle Gray to skull to
I-
Castle fluorescent pink skull.
I would love for John Carpenter to answer this. Like, what happened there? Was like one of the stars on the set asking for a little too much.
A little on the side, or
Dude, do you see
Oh,
how many
this
people
cocaine.
were riding
Oh,
lightning
nose
at
candy.
that point?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of lightning.
Yeah, a lot of people riding lightning. So that had to
brothel,
cost.
There was
Dude
the
comes in.
eyeball monster for
Yeah,
like the
the
last
eyeball
half hour of the
testicle.
movie. Yeah.
there was opium. You know, there was. It's an,
Or the scene where he catches the knife.
Oh man, maybe this is why it didn't do so well. The studio hired Carpenter to direct the film and rushed Big Trouble in Little China into production so that it would be released before the similarly themed Eddie Murphy film The Golden Child.
Oh fuck yeah, those
Oh,
are pretty
shit.
close. Give me the knife.
I want
The only thing I remember about the Golden Child was that fucking oatmeal with the blood in it, and it was like, oh,
God, that was
That
a good movie too. I
traumatized
love The
me.
Golden Child too.
yeah, I haven't seen
Side
that,
note.
and now I definitely
I
don't
have
want
it.
to.
It's a
I have it on
pretty good
DVD
movie.
if you want
That
it. It's
makes
fucking
sense.
great.
I mean,
Golden Child. I mean, Eddie Murphy was fucking hot.
Oh yeah, that's like
bloody
right
oatmeal.
after Beverly Hills Cop. Iron.
Yeah, he was.
Or Eddie
fucking
Murphy.
hot. Give me the knife.
I don't want bloody oatmeal. No,
So-
no.
For me, this film stands out as a true testament of why this film is so great. Like how many times I've watched it, how entertaining it is every single time I watch this film. But yet it bombed in fucking Hollywood. So
They
Yeah.
probably didn't have any idea on how to market it. They're like, what the fuck do we do? Just like a truck driver guy, like honking at Ninja Army, and then like he's in the basement, and then there's Lo Pan, and then like How do we make a trailer for this?
It's not quite a romance because it's really about a truck, but it's
Right.
not quite a ninja film.
But I mean, at least back
They
then,
gloss over the human trafficking aspect real fast.
Harvey Weinstein probably was like, get move this through.
Written by David Weinstein.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it also was a testament too. I mean, they didn't know how to market it, right? That's a good point. But this day and age, they obviously know how to market the films because all the films are the fucking same. They're always sequels of shit over and over and over again.
Right.
Where this is not. This is brand new. Golden Child was also brand fucking new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't just. Yeah. How do you market that? There's no precursor to this. What do you mean? Kurt Russell is in this film? Who's he?
Do you like Bruce Lee? You'll love this.
Yeah, right.
Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Do you like kung fu movies? What
We
happened
got
when-
you.
We're gonna put them together and then give you
But-
an Americanized.
Really, I mean,
truck
all they
driver
got is.
protagonist.
Do you like women with green eyes?
Yeah.
Chinese
Yes, I
girl
love it.
do not come in green eyes. They do not.
Yet again, though, it ends up being another cult classic.
Oh my god! I did my my final year, my last semester, all on Big Trouble in Little China. I did like
my God.
box art, DVD art,
Thesis.
and everything for the thesis.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It was awesome. Big Trouble in Little China, baby.
Why didn't you bring that in today?
Yeah, this is a definite desert island film. That's how I would describe this
I
for
don't
me
know.
as
I
well.
should've.
Just watch it forever.
Yeah, like I'll never get sick
We'll
of this
get
movie
photos
as long
of
as I
it.
No,
live.
I'll bring it. I'll give you stuff. I'll give you the DVD.
There's so much cool shit in this movie.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Everything about this is just unbelievable.
A man in
special
his
effects
truck,
for
his
low
fucking
pan.
moccasins.
Yeah.
I loved his moccasins.
I forgot
in that
about the
movie.
moccasins.
He doesn't win a lot of fights.
He doesn't.
He kind of
He's-
gets beat up a
He's a
lot.
scrappy
too.
guy.
Yeah.
He's like Han Solo.
It's believable.
But he just keeps bouncing back.
He does. He's
like
pretty
that.
resilient.
That's why you
Or
love
like
him
all
so
those
much.
scenes when he's like trying to load the gun and then he gets it and then like the fight's over and he's like,
the
"Good
iconic.
job, sidekick."
which is weird because he was supposed to be. He was up and running for the role of Han Solo.
I could see that.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It was him and
I mean, Harrison Ford was good
Harrison
too.
Ford.
But
He was the best, but you could actually see Han Solo in
yeah,
this film. Like,
he's probably the only other guy I could envision
like just
playing Han
being
Solo.
a
You know.
doofus.
Just wearing a nice
Fucking
vest there. And
kisses Kim Cattrall, and she's like, "I love you," and he's like, "All right." Aren't you gonna say anything back? No.
No.
Yeah, she says that later. He's like walking out and like, "Aren't you?"
Are you going to say bye? No.
Nope. There's supposed to be a sequel to this.
What's the matter, Jack? You're not going to kiss the girl goodbye?
No. There's supposed to be a sequel to this movie with The Rock, and everyone was up in arms. But The Rock doesn't play Jack Burton. Kurt
Good.
Russell would redeem the role
Okay.
as Jack Burton. It's mostly like them passing the torch. The Rock would be the main star in it.
So they can make 6 more movies
Yes,
in the same
exactly.
universe.
Oh.
Keep in mind
my
that
God.
so many movies of John Carpenter are remade without John Carpenter.
Yeah. Halloween.
fucking awful.
Halloween's been done so many fucking times.
It has.
Yeah.
The Thing. They remade it.
Well,
the pre-sequel, whatever you
yeah.
want to call it.
There's
John
a-
Carpenter's shit.
Oh man, what was it?
Assault.
Death Proof, where Kurt Russell's the bartender.
Oh, fuck
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Or no.
No, he is
He's
a
a stunt man. Yeah.
who fucking still has
Yeah,
his
at the
car.
bar, there's a
Stuntman
bunch
Mike.
of stuff from this movie just hanging out in the background of that bar.
That's such a good movie, too.
Death Proof.
So
Love Death Proof.
I do love that.
after this movie, John Carpenter does Prince of Darkness, which is the second of his apocalypse movies. The third one is Mouth of Madness, which happens.
Well, let's talk about Prince of Darkness for a second.
yeah. We'll go to Prince of Darkness. I'm just wanting to reference it because it's
Okay.
the thing. Prince of Darkness, Mouth of Madness. Those are 3 apocalyptic movies.
Yeah.
And Prince of Darkness does. It's decent, right? 3 million, 14 million box office, but it does not hit home. It's not a cult favorite like the other 2 movies we talked about.
This is a very, very weird movie.
Yeah.
I like
it even
this
says
one.
the Apocalypse trilogy up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I like it a lot. The devil is this green ooze in the basement.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper is a homeless man.
Yeah, Alice Cooper's in this.
I
Yeah.
love this one. It's like the thing, but like satanic. You
It's
know what I
very
mean?
satanic.
Yeah.
It's like the ooze of
Also,
slowly
Donald
possessing
Donald
people.
Pleasance as the priest.
Victor Wong is in this movie again.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of the same people that's been
Lot
in
of
those
the same
movies
people.
previously.
That's where I relate a lot of John Carpenter's work to Tarantino's work because he has a select group of like 10
Yeah, there's a
actors that he
handful of
keeps
guys that he
reusing
likes.
over
I
and over again.
honestly,
I love-
am surprised this didn't do better because it was at like the height of satanic panic,
I love how
and
Alice
people
Cooper.
believed everything.
Oh
was
yeah,
caused by
every
Satan.
record played backwards
Yes.
was Satan.
Satan.
Dungeons and
Alice-
Dragons will make you possessed by Satan.
I love how Alice Cooper doesn't even have a name. It was just Street Schizo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ends up
'Cause-
being like a homeless guy that slowly
But just
goes
street
crazy
schizo.
and starts
But
fucking
It's
going after the
because
church.
that woman is convinced that they're schizophrenic because she's like, this isn't normal behavior for
Well, yeah, they just, like,
because they're
stand
homeless
outside of
and they're
this church.
standing outside. I'm like, why do they have to be schizophrenic? Because they're homeless.
It was
That's
a weird
another
ass
question.
movie though.
That's another question.
I
for,
watched this
Carpenter.
recently just to refresh my
It's
memory
weird.
for this.
That little weird green like line or whatever that's coming from the ooze
Yeah.
in the ceiling.
When it starts pouring to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know John Carpenter's answer. How did Alice Cooper get in this film?
Yeah.
Did he just ask?
He was just available.
Maybe he was a fan.
He was just available.
He's available. Is Alice Cooper available for this weird dude? Yeah, get him on the phone. He's always liked my films.
he's in the casting line of extras. Be like, wait, hold on, is that fucking Alice Cooper?
Wait, see, in my
Let's give you a
mind,
good part.
Drew Struzan was just like, I know Alice Cooper, and Carpenter's like, do me a favor.
Yeah.
I need a homeless man.
Get him down
Quick.
here.
Now, I mean, he still is probably available. Do you think we could get him on here?
Cooper?
I mean,
Yeah, just
We have
maybe.
to invite
Podcast.
Frank.
Oh, no.
So he does not much to say about this film. I mean, that's good, right? It got him another.
It's not his best work.
It's not
Definitely
his worst. He does a movie after that in 1988. They Live,
They live.
and it's. I put this as his most overrated film. I dislike it.
You don't like it?
I think the pacing is all off.
You mean you
It
don't
is a
enjoy
very
that
weird
fight scene?
pacing to a movie.
So
There's a 20-minute fight scene in this movie between Roddy Piper and Keith
Yeah,
David.
first we just need to start off with saying rest in peace, Roddy Piper.
Rest in peace, Roddy
Rest in
Piper.
peace.
Yeah.
The only movie.
But
Hot
dude,
Rod.
it's basically a wrestling match between Roddy Piper and Keith David
Probably
in an
will.
Over
alley.
his
fucking-
sunglasses. It's great.
Roddy Piper. And this is off of Roddy Piper's rise with the Piper's Pit on WWF. He's doing this for fucking 3-4 years, and he is hot at this point. He is Hogan level. He's a mouth of wrestling, so he decides I'm going to go into movies. He goes into movies. He gets this movie, They Live. And it's after a hot director, right? You know, John Carpenter. What is the box office? What is the gross and thing? $3 million makes $13 million.
So it made $10 million bucks.
Might
Not
be-
bad. Debuted at number 1 in North American box office too when it came out.
yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. My beef with this movie, I mean, we've talked about this earlier. It's just it also relates a lot to what's going on today, and I
Yeah.
probably will. It's timeless. Probably 10 years from now, people are like it's the same. Like this movie relates.
Obey.
Yes. Definite
Consume.
Yep.
class warfare
Well,
going on in
100%.
this.
Shepherd Ferry, man. He wouldn't have a
Mary.
career.
Yeah, Shepard Fairey's entire career was built off of this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
the
whole
obey thing,
thing.
you know?
Obey.
Yeah,
it's
that's
straight up the same font, like
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Lasting impact on street art, particularly that of Shepard Fairey.
Italicized Futura.
My beef
Yeah.
with
The
this
font that they
movie
use.
is the pacing. When we talk about Big Trouble in Little China, the first 45 minutes are unbelievable.
That movie is all gas, no brakes.
Well, it breaks at 45 minutes. When he
Yeah,
gets back
that
to the
just
gas,
to have
Shortly.
some expositional
Right.
dialogue
Shortly.
to explain what's happening, and then they jump right fucking back in.
Yeah, this
Right,
one
it's
takes
awesome.
forever to get moving.
But like
For sure.
my argument with this movie is why the fuck is he at the workers' camp for a half hour with the church and the rebuilding everything? What is the point of like it's not character development. I disagree with all
To
of that.
find
Well, I mean,
the
like-
sunglasses. He needs a way
You
to
could've put
get to the sunglasses.
in an alleyway. You
Yeah.
put the sunglasses anywhere right before the fight with Keith David.
But do you think he had to tie it back to the church? Because then it goes back to Prince of Darkness. And it's like a callback. Just like, hey.
Fair
Say-
point.
Hey,
but fair
Christians.
point. Fair point. That's not what. I just find this movie to be the slowest fucking paced movie.
It does.
It's
it
boring
does
for me.
crawl. It crawls the first.
I
20
respect
you're
it.
right.
I respect it for what it is. I respect it for Shepard Farley.
Farley.
I respect it for him.
He built
You know,
his
those are
entire-
two wrestling homages, right? The giant Obey face is Andre the
Yes,
Giant.
yes,
and the
yes,
Obey
yes.
is.
And that's basically what started the whole thing. Is that Shepard Fairey was tasked to just do a school project, Rhode Island School of Design,
Right.
and he was the guy Buddy. I can't think of his last name. Was a known mob guy who was mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, and so they decided to just that was his final school project.
Right.
He wheat pasted Andre the Giant over the face and just put "Obey" next to
Well,
it.
at first he used
And
to
they-
write Andre the Giant has a posse. As
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But they were like, "Why?" And he was like,
oh,
"Think about it."
So, yeah,
And that it was basically based off this entire movie, his career of just.
it's yeah. I don't know. I can't comment on that.
All right.
So he in the beginning of the 80s, he has The Thing, which is an anti-communist movie. And then he has this movie, which is basically an anti-capitalist Reagan movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going through your mind, Carpenter? Help us out. What are you doing?
Well,
Dollar
maybe
signs.
it's just a critique on both. Like a
Maybe.
completely unhinged communist society, you have no idea who to trust. While a completely unhinged capitalist society is just trying to grind you out and force you to obey.
Maybe it's just human behavior. He's just like, you all are jackasses.
All media that we're consuming really just has one-word messages behind it. Learn, work, fuck, obey. Marry, have children.
Reproduce.
Interesting. I like that.
That's why I like this movie so much.
that was
though,
like
because of stuff like that, like the undertones of it.
Yeah.
You know.
But that was all the punk rockers at the time were critiquing, though, too. Was Reagan was a symbol of unhinged capitalism, you know? Reaganomics, try to force the whole world to be capitalist also,
Right.
with no boundary or regulation.
Someone's got to say the line though for this film.
They live, we sleep.
No, bubblegum.
Bubblegum. Someone has
I came here to-
chew bubblegum and kick ass.
I'm all out of
gum.
I came here to drink beer and podcast, and I'm all out of beer.
No, we're not. We're never out of beer.
Thanks to the North Brewery.
Shout out.
So he does. We're gonna skip over a movie. He does They Live in '88, and then 1990 he has a 4-year break, which is odd because he hasn't had a break of that stature at all. So he has a 4-year break, and he does Memoirs of an Invisible Man. This is the only movie I haven't seen by him. I can't comment at all on this film.
I can't either.
I don't know much
Isn't
about
Chevy
it.
Chasing that though.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase.
He was hot back then. Chevy
Yeah.
Chase, man. He had his own late night talk show.
Back when racism
Was,
wasn't a huge deal, I guess.
It was not. I guess not.
Did
Being
Chevy Cha-
racist was just Chevy Chase's image, I guess.
Did he come out with some racial
Oh.
slurs?
Oh, he's bad. He's
yeah,
bad at
you haven't
this
heard
point.
this?
Not
Chevy
really,
Chase
no.
and Daryl Hannah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Daryl Hannah, nice.
I like Daryl Hannah a lot. So he does that movie. Then he does a movie called In the Mouth of Madness, which is his
Yes.
final apocalypse movie.
you read Sutter Kane?
And I love.
This movie is more H.P. Lovecraft than any H.P. Lovecraft movie that's ever been made.
Yeah.
I would say,
I
except
love
maybe
Sam
The Color
Neill.
Out of Space, which is the one we should have talked about on
Yeah.
the Halloween special thing.
Yeah. And Sam Neill is fucking hot right now. Just did Jurassic World.
Yeah, this is
Jurassic
right after
Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, around
But
there.
again, it didn't do that well. I guess
I
it's just
mean-
a topic that people don't.
It was a fucking weird movie, so I could see them having problems.
I'll be
again.
honest, this is one I haven't seen yet.
this is
Ooh,
a fucking amazing horror
the
movie.
opening of
Watch
it is just
Yeah.
traumatizing.
Yeah.
My
Watch.
mom let me watch this when I was a child, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
I mean,
Your mom
it
let you
made
do a lot of weird things.
$900,000 domestic.
I mean, Sam Neill also fucking great actor to be in horror,
Yeah,
sci-fi
Yeah.
horror, whatever.
Dude, Sam Neill, I think,
Event
fucking
Horizon.
ruined my childhood with Event Horizon. I watched that. And
Oh,
I have
fuck,
not
that's
been the
another
same.
good
Yeah,
one.
that
That's
was
a good one.
awesome. We're
That's a
talking
good
about
one.
sci-fi horror. That's up there with The Thing, man,
Yeah.
and Alien, where we're going.
that's like
We
Hellraiser
don't
in
need
space. is
eyes.
what it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember at work one day, they were just asking rhetorical questions when I was working at Time Warner, and they're like, "You could go live in space, would you?" I was like, "No." They're like, "You didn't even think about that." I'm like, "Have you ever seen a movie where things end well in space?" I'll wait.
Never.
Bam, if you were to ever remake Event Horizon, and you had
Why would it be
You're
Iggy Azalea versus Meg the Stallion?
Meg the Stallion.
Yeah.
That's the proper
Iggy
answer.
Azalea is Sam Neill's character.
Oh, you're so good.
It's Larry Fishburne.
Where we're going, we don't need bass.
Oh.
Just twerking. Like the whole.
I mean, Lizzo would
Sign
have to
me
show
up.
up at some point.
Oh, there'll be an all-female cast again.
Yeah,
Sign me
Lizzo.
up. I'm going.
Lizzo, City Girls.
Yep. Yep.
100% I'm going. But then you'd obviously have to cast one male, so you'd get.
You.
One male's the doctor.
I'm in.
That was the one female on the crew.
Yeah. I'd be game for that.
It would just be you. you and Lizzo.
Me and Lizzo.
I gotta say, this is one of my favorite horror movies too, though.
It's great.
Yeah.
The monsters at the end where he's like running away, also great.
Well, it's just because I'm a huge fan of like the cosmic horror H.P. Lovecraft kind of stuff.
Interdimensional.
And this does that so well.
But it
this
also
movie.
opens in such a weird, fucked up way.
Yeah.
It's just nice and dialogue, and then just
And
And Charlton Heston's in this movie.
yeah. And Sam Neill, I mean, you got to have him. He is fucking awesome.
that person on the bicycle always fucked me up every time he like passed them.
Yeah, that was fucking weird because
Yeah.
it's like a kid at one point,
And then
it's
it's a
like
really
an old kid.
person. Yeah.
So
Lots of crazy shit in this movie. Go check it out.
he does he does Mouth of Madness, then he does Village of the Damned.
Which Village of the Damned is a remake.
It's a
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
It does fucking terrible. He 22 million to make, 9 million.
What was that? Fucking
It's like similar.
Christy Hall and fucking Mark Hamill.
It's also
Yeah, Mark Hamill was in that.
Yeah,
one.
he was the
I don't
priest.
remember it. I just remember the creepy pale kids with white hair.
Mark.
It's a
Hamill.
very Children of the Corn kind
Yeah.
of
very
movie.
Children of the
Yeah.
Corn.
More psychic power, Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
So he does that movie 95 again. Now he's doing movies every year again, kind of. He does Escape from LA in 96. Tries to like do
Fucking terrible.
one last. Oh, it's awful. Sorry, Carpenter. I mean, I love Kurt Russell, but the
I don't
pacing on
remember
this
the
movie
ending
is
on that
awful.
one because
he's
I was just
surfing down.
I know
LA
that's-
Boulevard.
That's what I
Yeah.
remember. Like just having me like no and like turning. I didn't even think Carpenter had a hand in that one just because it felt so much different than
Oh no,
Escape from New York.
He had a hand in that. So he does that. Then he does a movie called Vampires, which I've only watched once.
I started watching again the other night, and it's all right.
Yeah, there's a sequel to that, or
Yeah, John Bon Jovi is the
Right.
main guy in that movie. So
Oh,
yeah, that's how
rough.
good that series is.
That's bad.
So John Carpenter then he does two other movies before he's done with movies, right? He does The Ward in 2010. It's okay. It's a little slow. But then he does one in 2001. Like I went ahead 2010 just to say his final movie. But there's one in 2001 that I find is like his most. I think he gets a lot of shit for it, and I don't think he should. I think that Ghost of Mars is by far better than They Live on a pacing standpoint.
Dude, that is the boldest, most wrong statement I've ever heard in my life.
Fine.
Most
That's
wrong.
fine. That is fine to say that. I know Ice Cube hates this fucking movie.
Well, it sucks.
It doesn't suck.
It scored a 22%
Yep.
rating on Rotten Tomatoes, earning $14 million at the box office against a $28 million budget.
So, yeah, like,
Yeah, he lost a lot of money.
yeah.
You
did-
lost 50%.
Maybe this is an argument against America at this point. I mean,
Did
what
it
they didn't
get
want to go
any
and see a
Razzies?
protagonist, a black
Well,
male.
dude, there was,
man.
like,
maybe
big-
that's what it is.
There was big actors in this movie. and
Right?
it-
Maybe
it was just-
America wasn't ready for a black male protagonist like this.
Dude,
Right?
It was a bad movie.
So Ice
dude.
Cube
No,
hates
yeah.
it.
No. Ice Cube hates it, but I don't think he even watched the movie. I honestly think if you were to, I will die on a hill on this movie. If you,
I don't know why you're choosing this hill to die
because it's
on,
actually
because
a decent movie.
you're
This
gonna
movie,
get slaughtered.
this movie is a decent movie. It is entertaining.
It
The question is, if you watch it, are you not entertained? Even if you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is
Dude,
going on?
I'm fucking entertained
Ghosts?
by how bad it is.
Right,
Like that,
but that's the whole point of a movie. The whole point is if you
not
walk
really.
out, if you walk away entertained, whether it's good or it's bad, production wise or whatever, like the Tommy Wiseau shit, right? When he did The Room, It's still people
But
watch
that's
it. It's a
another
cult
movie
thing.
that's just people watching because it's so bad.
Within 5 years, people are going to deem this movie. Wow, this is one of John Carpenter's best works.
It's already had 19 years to fucking.
It needs more time. It needs more time. This movie
It's a
needs.
fine wine. It's
It's
gotta
not.
be aged.
It's not. It's listen.
When we get to Mars, people will like this movie.
Okay, listen. It's Assault on Precinct 13 in
But
the
in
future,
space.
in space, on Mars with ghosts.
And Marilyn Manson.
It's not that far fetched.
An Ice Cube.
A mining mishap happens. They unleash all the old ancient aliens of Mars. The ghosts leave and infect other bodies. So think of it like it's like a zombie movie of
Possession kind of thing.
It's sweet. An Ice Cube in that. What a way to bring a hip hop artist from the early '90s and make him relevant again, right?
Was that Donald Trump's thinking with trying to have him help him with his new plan?
Make him
Relevant
Right.
again.
Make him relevant again. I mean, one can make the argument if it wasn't for this, you wouldn't have the movie that he had. Like, what was that? The kids movie?
Was that like the theme? Make Ice Cube great again?
No, it wasn't the theme. It was not the theme.
Okay.
You know what, John Carpenter? I defend this movie, and Ice Cube, you should watch it again. I defend this.
Again,
Dude.
you said he hasn't seen it yet.
He hasn't seen
All
it,
right.
but you should watch it, dude.
This is what I think after watching this recently because I knew you were going to talk about
Right.
this. Like the way it's filmed looks like shit. It looks like it looks
could-
like a Cinemax B movie.
You can
Like,
make the argument by the way it was filmed because of the early 2000s cinematic art style that they were filming
I do
back
think
then.
that did play into that because it looks like they were just grappling with new technology
was-
and not really nailing a good
Right.
look for this.
This was
movie.
not the only movie that was filmed like this. Red Planet was filmed like this.
Right.
You could probably make the case for The Matrix. It was filmed like this, but it was under a green. It was more under a greener film.
Right.
More than red. So you could make. It was also a product of its time.
Yeah.
That's my argument with this. It was all, but the plot is there.
You're right. It's like
The
Assault
plot is
on
there.
Precinct 13, but in space. But
On Mars.
they have all these great
With ghosts.
actors, and they all suck in this movie.
I
don't
have
know.
not seen this movie, so it's really hard for me to contribute to
couldn't
this.
Watch more than like 15 minutes of this.
Zach Pedley is making a statement right now.
Everybody, listen up.
This film,
I will cancel your sponsorship if you do not watch this movie.
Within 5 years, is going to be looked at as one of the best films of 2000, one of the best cult films of 2000.
I would rather.
Well, I mean,
watch
it came out in
Dracula
2001.
Come on,
It came out in 2001.
Dracula 2000 is so slow paced. Where this film, it's a
But it
pace
has
of
a
a
good
movie.
twist. It's got a good twist.
This is a good twist too.
Is it though?
I'll be honest with you, man. I had
twist is the whole movie.
No idea Carpenter did this until they said you wanted to talk about it. I'm like, wait, what the? Carpenter did
Ghosts
goes to
of
Mars?
Mars?
Are you serious?
I know you're on a.
I'm
like,
not trying to. You know,
I understand.
We're not building a wall around you.
No,
You know?
I completely. I know I am one of the few people on the opposite sides of this. Of like, but look,
You're on like a holy
Well,
quest
I
to
will give you a
legitimize
fist
this
bump.
movie.
Yeah.
the
I'll
two
give it
dudes,
another
the two
try.
dudes that reviewed films back then. The guy who he recently
Siskel
died,
and Ebert.
Siskel and Ebert. They reviewed this film 3 out of 4 stars.
So
So it wasn't just
Zach,
me.
So
Are you passionate enough about this movie to get a Ghost of Mars tattoo?
Yes, on his face.
Now wait a minute.
doesn't have to be on the face.
I'm not going to get
but
one on my face. If John Carpenter,
If John Carpenter,
At least likes, subscribes, or shares this video.
Dude, I wonder what the actors thought making this movie though, because it has some good actors in it. Like Pam Greer's in this movie.
I'll make
She's
my statement in a
awesome.
minute. I will. I'll do
so
it.
what's funny about this is that this conversation about Ghost of Mars usually comes up after like 5 hours of heavy drinking,
Right.
And you start in,
And it's
you're
usually to troll Chad.
right, and
to
it
be
usually
honest.
comes off as a complete troll. And
I
right,
believe
right
this
now
movie is
we've
good.
only been lightly drinking.
Yeah, we've been lightly drinking.
Yeah, and you are still just as adamant. So now I'm starting to think you're actually serious about this.
I believe this movie is a good movie. I think.
Okay.
I believe it has the elements to be a good movie, but however,
But I like to look past a lot of bullshit. I can look at a movie and be like,
Do you think it's like the Plan 9 of its time? So it has big actors, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't do this. It's still.
You mean Plan 9 because it had Elvira and fucking or Vampira
Yeah.
and a wrestler in it?
Oh, didn't it also have a
scroll
what's
down
his
on this
face?
for a second. Go down. We'll just okay. So he obviously flopped, right?
Yeah, he lost
Look at the
50%.
cast. I disagree. I don't think the cast is that big. Okay, Ice Cube.
I mean, they are now. Like this,
Jason
Jason Statham
Statham.
wasn't that big back then.
He dies. I believe, like within the first 45 minutes of the
No,
film.
no,
which is
he's in it
fucking-
for a while.
Yeah, first 45 minutes.
No, he's in for most of the movie. I think.
So
Honestly, I don't really know many of the other
Richard
people.
Citrone as Big Daddy Mars.
Peter Jason's in this?
Oh God.
Wanda de Jesus as Akuche.
Robert Carey.
The released spirits, unharmed from the nuclear explosion attack the city. Ballard and Williams are going to fight to stay alive. Look at that. Scroll down a little bit more. Just look at go production release. Okay, wait.
Box office.
So who is this? Okay, so entertainment. Okay, James Baldini gave it a film 1.5 stars out of 4. Robert, he film critic. Okay, positive reviews. Roger Ebert gave it positive reviews. It's a good campy movie.
Where's Roger Ebert now?
Well, he
I'm
also
pretty sure
had
he's
a-
dead.
He's pretty dead. Look at what
Ice
Ice
Cube
Cube
was
says.
very critical about the movie. I don't like that movie. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, and the only reason I did it was because John Carpenter directed it, but they really didn't have the money to pull the special effects off. It does look like that too. Like there's not really great special effects in this movie.
Well, no. Box office film opened 9th in North America. It's not bad, right? 9th?
For a summer weekend against what in fucking 01? Sorry.
American Pie.
I just
Responding to the criticism towards the film, Carpenter stated he was intentionally trying to make Ghosts of Mars as over-the-top and tongue-in-cheek as possible. Claimed he was trying to make a mindless and silly yet highly entertaining and thrilling action flick, where the universe allows its characters and plot points to be silly without becoming full-fledged comedies.
akin to Commando. Perfect, right there.
Rambo and Predator.
There.
It's akin.
Not Rambo 1, though. Rambo First Blood Part 2.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Well, guess what? These ghosts don't bleed. They just transfer from body to body, which might be
Ooh.
even
Good
more of a
thing.
difficult
Call back to the
Communism.
troop. Thank you for coming home, John Carpenter.
They're on the red planet with ghosts. They're all communist. End of story.
I actually don't remember any good Ice Cube lines from this movie.
So how
There's
good of
no
a
good ones,
how
trust
good of a
me.
movie was it if you have no quotes from it?
Ooh.
Let me say, I've watched this 3 times, and every time I've watched it, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, dude,
Only 3
check out
times?
the
Well, I don't
soundtrack,
wanna
though.
ruin it
He
for
did a thing
myself.
with Buckethead and John Carpenter. That's pretty cool.
Fighting
Head.
Dead. That's a good way to
awesome.
go out.
John
outro.
Carpenter.
Steve Vai.
Anthrax?
Steve Vai did some stuff on here.
Ghost
too.
popping.
Anthrax.
Anthrax was like on
Yeah,
every other
Anthrax.
fucking song.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's pretty cool.
Buckethead, John Carpenter, and Anthrax wrote Kick-Ass. That's sweet.
Kick ass.
Yeah, come to think.
Oh man, it kicks ass.
There are some very like metal fucking riffs
I find
on
it
the
odd
soundtrack
that they're
of this.
the chronological is saying Assault on Precinct 13. They might just be giving him credit as a producer or something on that.
Yeah.
Because his last film technically was this movie. Recorded.
Oh,
Oh, it was
this is a
re-released.
soundtrack.
Oh, it was a soundtrack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we have for John Carpenter.
Really want to end with Ghosts of Mars?
Yes, I do. I want everyone to walk away with a sour taste in their mouth.
Sweet. I think the fucking fog ruled.
Fog?
I love
So
the
we're gonna
idea.
end on Ghost of Mars, which means you don't want people tuning in next week.
No, I do. I would get a tattoo of either The Thing or Ghost of Mars if John Carpenter just
Now,
came down here.
are
He
you-
I believe he lives in New York. Let's get.
Just get the
He
tattoo.
lives in New
his
York, or you
Wikipedia
believe he lives in New York?
what do you want
His
me to say?
Wikipedia said he was
See?
somewhere in New York.
Just
I
get
feel
the
like you
tattoo.
need to touch on some of the color palette, at least even in the thing. It's
Yeah, you didn't
beautiful.
talk about the artistry of.
It's beautiful.
Okay, let's go back to The
Blues and the
Thing
reds.
for a little bit. Let's just go back to this movie. Some would argue that it is probably his best film of all time.
It's one of the best films of all time.
Right.
As far as
Look,
I'm concerned.
The best. We could talk about the prosthetics
Yes.
Yeah.
which a
The
lot of
makeup.
people ruin a lot of films for a lot of people, like new age films for a lot of people, because they're like, if you're not doing prosthetics, I don't want to fucking see your movie
Right.
because it looks real. The
Well,
prosthetics
that
look
was
real.
like a very huge point in makeup effects. That movie.
Could we find the thing color palette? Is that a thing? Like they do that every once in a while, like a Pantone color palette.
You might be able to.
So it's like a thing color palette, just like of a specific scene, because obviously it's got to be white, gray, red,
A little bit of blues.
a little bit of
Yeah.
blues. The film, and I'm really, maybe you can make the argument that the
There we
American
go.
public was just not
Those
ready.
purples right there.
Yeah.
Cool.
The American
Yes.
public was just not ready for this movie. They were not, by any means. Look at how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
God, I might go home and watch this tonight.
Oh, I love that inward
Yeah, you
screen.
should. It's Blade Runner, though.
Oh my God. Standing out there and the hands and
Fucking
how
set him on fire.
These aren't even like the best scenes in the movie, though. This is like the end.
there's a
I mean, that one's
very
pretty good.
I'm okay.
there's a
Him in the fucking.
it's a specific
storeroom.
I don't know if I saved
we're not
this
even
on
looking at that.
TikTok.
Let me bring these up.
Fuck yeah, TikTok. Check us out on TikTok.
Are we on TikTok? You guys on TikTok?
Yeah, we are.
There's a,
I refuse to participate in that.
We
ecosystem.
got a couple of TikTok videos up. Not much, but
I think they're all of Reggie.
yeah.
Doing this.
Wait, let's get one live.
there is a specific type.
Ask him if I'm an alien.
Are you an alien?
They kind of do that thing on Invasion of the Body Snatchers too.
Yes.
Did you ever see that?
I've
that's
only
another
seen
good one.
that scene.
I thought they do that in the stuff
Oh,
as
where
well.
what's his nuts at the end of the movie? Have you seen The Faculty? Because you basically see.
Yeah.
The Faculty was pretty good.
Faculty's awesome.
Yeah, as far as like
Great.
sci-fi horror, that took a lot of stuff from The Thing too, though, because it's like this being that came.
Well,
down and,
there's a
like,
spot right in the beginning of the movie where one of the girls is reading Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Why
Yeah.
are you reading old school sci-fi for?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so stupid.
that was a good movie though.
Body Snatchers. Donald Sutherland.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Donnie
Yeah.
Sutherland. Yeah, at the end.
It's
when
been
they-
made. I think it was remade a couple times though. Like I think Daniel Craig was in one of them.
The black and
I
white
think
was
so.
Called
called weird.
Invasion or some shit.
Good old Donnie.
Yeah, it was Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I think were the Invasion, and it was
Yeah.
just another bit on that.
Yeah, it was basically the same movie, just kind of ripped off.
So, you saw The Thing when you were way too young. You saw In the Mouth of Madness when you were way too young. Anybody else have any good fucking horror movies that you, when you look back on, you were like, I was probably way too fucking young?
I was
The only
way
thing I
I
can
was
remember
way-
was
that one.
the Terminator. Like I saw when I was a really little kid in the scene where the fucking truck blew up and
Yeah.
like
Oh, shit.
the fucking T-800 just ends up walking out. I freaked the fuck out.
I was way too young when I saw the thing.
Yeah.
You just
Were ya?
watched it a week ago.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
My dad.
Oh, yeah.
I had a great childhood, and I'm so happy my father showed me. I saw The Thing, The Blob, Alien, and RoboCop
Uh-huh.
before I was like 8 years old.
Paul Verhoeven, man. He's fucking great.
That scene in RoboCop where the guy gets
What
an acid.
what
and-
scene not in RoboCop?
I know,
That
dude,
movie
there's
is-
gratuitous
Acid,
violence. in
the
that.
Oh my
acid
God.
scene where they hit him with the car.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
he blasts the acid guy.
Fuck.
Oh my god!
Why-
He just splatters all over.
And a lot of
Ugh.
people are ruined by films from the 80s because they had to pay these prosthetic sculptors or these artists to come in and do all the CGI, basically the CGI we have today.
Uh-huh.
And it looks so much better than what we have right now, by far. There's no film that you could say right now that the CGI is, it's unbelievable. Like for gore and shit like that. There's
Well,
no.
I think like people are just
American
exhausted
Werewolf
on
in
that now,
London?
though.
Oh, so good. That
Prosthetics.
whole
Oh,
thing
yeah.
of his arms like
Yeah.
extending out, his fingers. It's great. But there's no movie now in this day and age that you could say. Even the new Aliens that they made, Alien Covenant. I mean, it's still like it's cool.
A lot
But it's
of that
not
stuff
real.
they're doing now, you couldn't do that with practical effects, though. I think there's
I disagree.
there's a happy medium between CG and practical effects.
And I think the
would say.
only guy that really nails that is Del Toro. You know, he
Yeah.
still has character
Sure.
and costume and sculptors.
Doug
Right.
Jones.
Plus, I also think it's a money situation too, where they could pay
It's probably a lot cheaper to do CG now.
You could probably pay 4 computer guys instead of a team Like, oh, you hire this team to come in, and then you're just doing prosthetics the whole fucking time.
Right.
I mean, for the longest time, Del Toro's been trying to get Lovecraft. What's the name of the movie?
At the Mountains of Madness.
Yeah.
He's trying to do that.
He has everything set for it, and no one will give him the
He
budget
was
for
going
it.
to do that in 2011, but it was too close to The Thing prequel that came out.
He
It's
would-
the same kind of deal.
If they're listening, if
That
I doubt
Del
they're one of
Toro.
our 20
well,
weekly
you
listeners.
don't know. You don't know. Somehow it gets out there. Actually, all the weekly listeners that we have, the 20 that you guys have, go and tag John Carpenter. Just
Send
tag
it to
him.
Spam him.
Every day. Just keep sending him this video or this clip. Wouldn't it be badass if Del Toro and Carpenter teamed up and did The Thing, the sequel? Wouldn't that be insane?
Well, yeah, that'd be really cool, and I would watch
Right.
it.
You know what? You might get better luck trying to tag Doug Jones in it, and then getting him to
That's
tag
let's-
Del
the
Toro.
Pale
Yeah,
Man,
let's-
right?
let's
He
listen
does
to
Yeah, he's
Christina
the
here.
Pale Man.
Yeah, yeah.
He's Pan. He's
He's the fish
Ape
guy.
Sapien.
Yeah. Let's
out
listen
to
to
Doug.
Christina here. Let's tag them. Let's get everybody involved in tagging these people, because if this does happen, the 5 of us get in the movie, like as people that die.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to die.
It's a
in I
guaranteed.
wanna die in
We
it.
die. Like you can do anything that's like our arms, like just like that movie Zygo, where that thing had like all those weird arms
Oh,
and
that's
all the
you're-
weird
you're
eyeballs.
talking some Neil Blomkamp
Yeah.
stuff now.
Would
Yeah.
you do that to us?
See, I want to go with and capitalize on my website and just be set on fire.
Yeah, let's
That's
do
a good
that.
one.
Let's in the movie. Let's set Bam on fire.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's like that would be unbelievable. Del Toro and Carpenter, The Thing, the sequel. We'll get what Christina said. We'll bring in
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, but we'll use Kurt
Why-
Russell's son.
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt.
That would be unbelievable to have that movie take place.
I like how you're taking
Doug-
over the making of the movie.
Doug
Well, no,
Jones.
let's do it. Let's.
Wyatt Russell, Doug Jones, Meg the Stallion, Lizzo,
Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion. She
and a-
needs to
and-
be in it.
and a walrus.
Right. Let's really ruin this film. That's
Ice-T, Jason Statham.
that's what I do. I'm a manager, so I
you
just
gotta have
like I
Samuel
don't
L.
want to.
Jackson because he's in everything now.
Right.
so.
And instead
Ma-
of actual dogs, just have Snoop Dogg. He replaces all the dogs.
Fuck it. Let's just remake Airplane. Let's just do Airplane 2. Snoop Dogg, sorry, Carpenter, you're out. Everyone else, you're out.
We can follow the ice vibe instead of going Ice Cube. Go Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
Oh,
Airplane
nice.
2.
Yeah,
Airplane
good
2
one.
coming to theaters 2025. Snoop Dogg, Megan Thee
Didn't they make
Stallion.
an Airplane 2 already?
Okay, Airplane 3.
Or doesn't it matter?
Airplane 3.
Ace Ventura 3.
Ace Ventura 3 with Snoop Dogg, Jim Carrey, and Megan Thee Stallion. Let's make it. Let's get this to work. John Carpenter, at us.
Hey, Zach. Have you ever seen Lair of the White Worm?
Oh, you were telling me about
It's
this
another
one.
campy horror flick.
No.
I've seen it. It's a weird movie.
Is
seen
it
that movie?
a
Yeah.
porno?
High five. Because I've like never talked to anybody who's ever seen
It's
that
been
movie.
a long time since
that
I've
a
seen
porno?
it. I
No.
think I caught it on Cinemax.
There's
one
a lot
night,
of
like
tits in
fucking
it.
30 years ago.
I used to. That was
Did it
like
confuse you when you
that
thought
was-
it had slipped into Skinamax? Because
Yeah, it
it's
was
that.
very weird. It's
That was my
very
Desert
in between.
Island movie when I was like 5 or 6. For some reason, I wanted
That
to watch
explains
that
a lot.
movie. I wanted to watch that movie on like repeat, and it's chicks with like snake dildos, fucking like sacrificing chicks to like fucking monsters and shit. There's a bunch of satanic imagery in there. It is fucking bananas.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's probably one of those way too young to watch.
We should start a hashtag. What movie ruined you as a child?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
What movie ruined
Comment below.
Yes.
you? Yeah, let's get people to
Yeah,
comment.
comment. Tell us what's your Lair of the White Worm.
We'll tag a friend, too. We want them to
Yeah.
tag a friend, and then they're going to comment as well.
Assuming they've
perfect.
watched this for an hour and 10 minutes.
And let's do this, too. Let's up the ante here. If they watch this for 10 minutes, for whatever, right? Let's up the ante. Maybe we'll do a trailer for this. If they comment, if we get like 100 comments, okay? Likes or whatever, 100 comments where you tag a friend, I will give away, I'll ship you a couple 4-packs of beer.
Ooh.
Let's do that. We'll ship you some stuff. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
We
If
should
you-
trigger
wherever
this
you
and
are.
just
Giveaway.
release the segment. Yeah.
Yeah. If you comment like on this video though, so you have to go to this video, right?
Yep.
On
Nobody
YouTube.
I'll
can
ship you
see
a couple
this.
4-packs. They will rough if we tell people to comment, to tag
Dude.
people, comment and like.
Bring it full circle. Make a Ghost of Mars beer. Force it upon
I will
you.
make Chad.
Ghost of
Chad will
Marshmallows.
fucking kill me. Ghost of Marshmallows, Renaissance Tattoos, North Brewery collaboration.
Ghost
We're
of
doing it because guess what?
Marshmallows.
They're gonna have to do, guys.
The
They're gonna have to make the
artwork.
fucking label for the movie that they hate. Ghost of Mars.
You're gonna make me do it. Who's
Ghost-
never seen it?
Ghost of Marshmallows.
Ghost of Marshmallows.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
me. Everybody
Coming-
Marshmallow.
Coming January. We'll do it for January. Fuck it. I'll
It'll
come
just
out
be
with
the
it.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Ghost
Well,
of
he
Marshmallows.
already did this.
Oh, you already did.
Yeah,
That's
but
right,
we're gonna
yeah.
do this. We're gonna hope that everyone tags John Carpenter. We're gonna send it to John Carpenter because we're big fans of him, and we just want some answers from him. And maybe
Why
we'll
Hollywood hates him so much? Did we ever get to the bottom of that? Was that?
I think it's because he fucking just
I think
he couldn't put people in the fucking seats.
I think he did what he was passionate about doing.
yeah, and that it's not always a great thing.
Yeah.
One
As
thing
far as
you
the
did,
mass
you made the
public
analogy
goes.
to Quentin Tarantino, but Tarantino's like 30 years deep into his career, and he's only got like 8 movies under his belt.
Yeah.
With him hammering out a movie a year, that leaves kind of more room for like you're not going to
Errors.
hit a home run
Yeah.
every time. Every
But-
once in a while, you might.
But look at all the mistakes that Quentin Tarantino avoided by looking at other directors
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, for sure.
Because he was like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking listen to Hollywood. I'm gonna do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure each one of these are banged out. Hollywood now is like in a teenage, maybe a young adult, not a young adult, teenage to like 20 to 30-year-old person. Where when Carpenter was making these films, you're talking maybe like Hollywood's been around. I know Hollywood's been around since the 30s or whatever, but Hollywood movies,
Right.
Like you're talking, it's at
Like
its peak.
blockbuster.
So you have
Yeah, yeah.
in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, you had Star Wars fucking pumping out. You had Jaws before that, where Hollywood was like, I want fucking money, and we need you to generate money. So Hollywood saw Halloween and was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Let's do this.
let's put money behind this
Make
guy.
more slasher films.
And
No.
right, but they didn't even give him Halloween 2. You would have figured that Hollywood wouldn't have been that pissed off at him for The Thing.
Yeah, and Hollywood,
Big Trouble in
Halloween
China.
2 picks up like at the second that the credits roll
Yeah.
on
Right.
Halloween 1.
But the same thing, I guess Hollywood fucked over the guy who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then
Tobe
Texas
Hooper.
Toby Hooper, yeah. Because did he direct the second one? Or did he write
no,
the
I
second
don't think
one?
he did because the second one's kind of weird.
But the second one's very Hollywood-esque, where they're chainsaw
Yeah.
fighting on the table.
So we all have to agree the major theme of this podcast episode is Hollywood sucks.
Fuck Hollywood.
Fuck
well, yeah,
I want Hollywood money. Don't say
definitely
fuck
sucks, man.
Hollywood.
Yeah, well, we all
I
would-
will be an extra in your
we
zombie
love- we
movies.
love you, Hollywood.
You can cut my
Please-
face off.
Please
That would be
sponsor us
fun.
and set me on fire.
This is true. We do
I
love
will make
Hollywood.
shitty logos for your movie. I will Photoshop
Well,
some faces.
Zach, let me
together.
ask you while you're here, since like
Yeah.
I brought this up before, what do you think the future of movies in general is, given the times we're living in right now?
Put all of our money in horror behind the guy who did Hereditary and Midsummer.
Yeah.
Ari
Yes.
Aster.
Yes.
Talked about him on the last
He
episode.
100%. He is the future of horror. And what do I think about movies in the future because of COVID? Money talks, and within 2 to 3 years, everything will be back to normal because money talks, and it's a capitalistic society. And it's not me being a capitalist person saying that. It's because people want to be fucking. They want an escape from reality, and movies give
Yeah.
that to people. And Hollywood will go to any extent to give that to people because they know there's money involved.
I was talking to my brother who's out in Colorado, and he said that theaters are open. They're just airing like older stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Right now, they're
So-
going to open again 25% capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
almost.
Not in Broome County though, because
Until we go, and no,
Yeah.
we're dropped, but
But there was a whole bunch of like pop-up drive-in movie theaters
Yeah,
that came
yeah.
out even in
Yeah.
Broome County.
I'm going
which we
to-
haven't had one in like 20 years yet.
Actually-
There was like 2 that came up.
shout out to my friend. I'm gonna make sure I tag him in this. Rob Clifford Little. Right now, I believe he works over in Hollywood. I don't know if it's even cool for me to say this, but he works over there. He just did one of the posters for one of the Star Wars films. He's an awesome graphic designer.
Cool.
And I'm gonna reach out to him, see if he can just push this a certain way. Maybe he'll probably be like, "Fuck off, you piece of shit."
Who am I supposed to
Ruiner.
sell this garbage to?
He'll be like,
You drinking beer and
jackass.
going off about Ghost of Mars? No
Zach
one cares.
Pedley? Who
You
the
guys
fuck
are
you?
aiming too low. Drew Struzan can make a poster for our podcast.
that sounds
Get
awesome.
that.
I do think it does.
And then we'll get Ed Rupka to do the cover for our soundtrack.
Listen, there are
And then
good
we'll get
people
John
here.
Carpenter to do our track.
We'll get John Carpenter to do a biopic of
Yeah.
us. What would if this will be the final note because I can't stay any longer before. Yeah. So, if they were to do a film,
drink anymore tonight.
Bam, about us, right? If they do a film, maybe in the future, let's say we blew up somehow, brewery and a tattoo place blew up, renowned people. Who would they get to play you, Bam, and why would it be Megan Thee Stallion?
Does that mean I get to be Iggy Azalea?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, it's a flip. So Christina would probably get
Wait.
someone like.
Blake from Workaholics.
Blake Anderson?
So you would,
Yes.
Nice.
So you would
She
get
wants
Blake.
Blake.
You'd get Blake.
I would be Megan Thee Stallion.
I kind of want to be Megan Thee Stallion. If I had to pick who was going to play me in Hollywood, I would want Megan Thee Stallion.
I don't even know
it's
this
'cause
person
you're WAP,
you've been
right?
talking about
What?
for 2
It's
hours
'cause you're WAP.
now.
Because I'm WAP. Because I'm WAP. Worship and praise.
I got a white ass penis.
I like that one. I like it.
I
Well,
might
on
go
that
Liz-
note, we should probably
I
call
might
it
go
an
Lizzo.
episode.
I might go Lizzo.
Liz, yeah, you should go Lizzo. Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion, Iggy Azalea, and Sinead O'Connor.
I was gonna say some chick who shaved her head.
I was gonna say either Adele or Taylor Swift.
Oh, dude, not Taylor Swift. She's no. Adele, definitely.
Adele. Okay.
Taylor Swift has too many problems and baggage. We all know she got popular off of Kanye West.
All right, we're talking about popular music now, so it's the time to fucking wrap this shit up.
I don't know anything about that.
Thank you so much,
It was
guys.
fun, guys.
It was fun.
See ya.
It's been a good night.
It's been a great night. Cheers.
Cheers. We're still recording. Oh, it's yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.